At least half the people in this room spent their life in the nuclear industry, not in farms and so forth. My question to all of the candidates is just this. How do you propose to solve the energy crisis without nuclear power plants? You're not going to do it with 80 cents a kilowatt hour solar, and it's intermittent, and the same goes for wind. Slightly cheaper, but still 3 times the cost of hydro.
Who are you addressing the question to? Mr. Mackling will start then.
I've had people indicate their concerns to me about nuclear energy. And often I point to the sun and say, well, that's the source of all our energy, and that has nuclear implications, doesn't it? That kind of throws them a little bit. The reality is that we have nuclear power plants throughout the world. I don't know how many we have in North America, but we have many of them. And many of them are operating very, very safely. There's no question that there are problems in the disposition of nuclear waste. It seems to me that a responsible government would put more money into research to find how that waste can be utilized and recycled and properly stored. That's the course of action that I would follow. It's not our intent to attack nuclear energy. It seems to me that's here with us. It's here to stay. It's cleaner than the fossil fuels, certainly, and we should be able to cope with it. Now, there are disasters that have occurred in Japan, particularly, and I've heard that part of the cause of that was the shoddy workmanship that went into the establishment of that plant. They had buildings that they made buildings that can withstand earthquakes. Why didn't they have those plants properly built so that they would withstand the forces of nature?
Thank you. The Green Party supports an integrated approach to renewable energy. Yes, we have nuclear capacity in this country, but we have not put the research into place to deal with the waste. And until we do that, it cannot be considered a green energy source. So I agree there has to be research, because when we have shipped our technology around the world, that waste then is coming back to Canada, and we have to deal with that. So we agree that there has to be research in how can we neutralize the toxic effects of that waste. But we think there should be a limit on this form of new development. Instead, we want to support substantial research and development for ocean technologies, the tides were mentioned earlier, electrical storage technologies, support for power grid extensions to bring wind and ocean power from remote areas in. We need to work with the solar industry to rapidly install 25 gigawatts of solar panels, work with renewable energy industries to introduce this ocean industry for specific goals for production with regards to biomass and microhydro energy. And we have to do these things in the context of responsible oversight. I just have to point out that when the Safety Commission pointed out there were problems with Chalk River, the president was demoted. And rather than being congratulated for sounding the alarm and putting safety first, this Conservative government demoted her.
I fully support the work that's been done here in Pinawa as well as at Chalk River. This is a science-based industry that Canada was and has been a leader in. We've developed in Canada the CANDU reactor. We've got some great research that has been done and is continuing to be done. As Jenny just mentioned, we also have, or had, a strong regulatory agency. When Lynn McKean was the president of that agency, a civil servant who had been appointed by the previous government into a government council appointment, that tainted her. This is the democratic deficit we talk about. If you're painted in the wrong color in Ottawa, watch out, you could be out of a job.
To respond to the question that was asked directly, yes, nuclear energy must be retained as a very important source of energy. along with the development, as has been mentioned, of other sources of energy.
In the late 1990s, a decision was made to close and decommission the White Shell lab here. A decommissioning license was obtained in 2002. As of late 2008, decommissioning was underway. However, it wasn't the prior government that actually started the decommissioning process that brought the money here to accomplish that. It was in 2006, as one of our government's first priorities, we brought forth $530 million, I believe the number was, in order to deal with that process. 130 million of that came here to Pinawa, thanks to the mayor who asked that question, or the former mayor, Len Simpson. Thank you for all your work on this very important issue in terms of getting to the research of how we can properly use nuclear energy. I think we are naive to believe that nuclear energy will not play an important role in future energy needs. The efficiency and the relative lack of environmental destruction compared even to hydro dams. And most of you who are experts in this area understand the amount of energy that can be generated with a minimal amount of environmental damage. We still have work to do, no question about it, but at this point, we should not abandon the nuclear industry.
Like I mentioned earlier, let's consider a diverse source of nuclear, clear, clean energy power, and nuclear is one of them because, like, you cannot rely on wind turbine and solar is not going to meet the demands of energy needs. And so you have to be realistic. I know there's a lot of concerns because of what happens in Japan. With Japan assurance of transparency is very important. And the company involved in Japan has a history of covering things up, and that won't even fly here in Canada because we have a strong regulation here in Canada that's going to make sure that it's not nobody's going to get through with something like that. And I know we can say that the magnitude of our protection of the risk here in Canada is much higher than Japan, but of course, learning from Japan, we should never rest easy. We should just continue to improve our risks, even though we think it's already high now. So we just continue improving that. And plus, Canada's technology is a very good technology in terms of being able to use fuel. So we should put more investment in that, continue innovation in that field, and what you call the nuclear waste could actually, you can still harness some more energy from that and release it. And Canada is best positioned with our technology to do that.